What is it? Okay. Okay. This is our first Facebook Live.
Together.
Yeah. And this is your first Facebook Live.
It is.
Ever.
Yes. My husband was trying to call me old about 10 minutes ago because I've never done a Facebook Live.
Yeah. She was wondering if since we're using both of our phones. Never mind. All right. So, all right. Yeah. There's a couple of questions that folks started to ask already, and can't read it too well, but it is question. I can't hear that.
Question.
Hold on. Crickets.
Okay. All right. So yeah, the capital of Wisconsin is. No, I don't know. Yeah.
So we do have a question.
Okay. All right.
First question: do you really know how to do the moves you do in your movies?
Yeah. I've been doing martial arts pretty much all my life. I started at seven years old, and I keep doing it. And so, I mean, I particularly like in the films I do, I always like to keep the camera on so you can see that there's no real camera tricks, and that's kind of how I like to do it, to kind of prove I know what I'm doing, kind of, that. Yeah.
I vouch.
Yeah.
He can really do this stuff.
So we have another question.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say the disciplines that you know in terms of martial arts?
Well, I have 8 different black belts. There's 8 of them. There's a few. I don't want to bore you, but it's Kyokushin, Shotokan, Taekwondo, Tang Sudo, Goju, a style called Kobudo. These are different styles. There's some that are Okinawan based, some are Japanese based, and a few are Chinese based, and Korean. So I like to make it very diverse. And so, my philosophy is when I get a black belt in one style, I put a white belt on in another style. So, kind of apply that to life. You never want to look at everything from one perspective. You want to get several perspectives to be very balanced.
The next question is how long do you typically train for a film?
I don't really particularly train for films. I pretty much get ready for films by kind of like a fighter getting ready for a fight. You trim down, and that's what I tend to do. I tend to kind of lean out, and my wife she cooks the lean food while
I have a certain regimen I have to cook for him in terms of his meals to get him ready for a film.
And I watch my family enjoy the food while I get all the.
We eat very heartily while he.
I have to suffer.
Gets little tiny portions.
So we have another great question. They say that first that your wife is beautiful, and it both seems like you train hard. Do you train together?
Yes, we do. We train. We go to gym. Maybe 3-4 times a week?
Yeah, we trained about 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
In the backyard. It's like, it's one of those things. It's not like I don't want anybody to think that I made her do it.
Whoops.
Yeah. No.
Get out there.
No, she is a natural athlete. We always did everything together. I mean, we worked out. We used to, play basketball. And, one of us had to show the other one how to really play basketball. Sad to say, she had to really teach me because she got basketball scholarships.
Yes, basketball was my sport. So yes, I've always been athletic, and we both are. So it's so natural for us to go to the gym together, and of course his training in martial arts is way beyond mine. So he teaches me a lot, and the good thing being an athlete, I think I'm a quick learner.
She's a very quick learner.
Yeah.
And the thing that people don't really know is that you're really some people you're either born fighter or not. There's some things that it's very hard to teach, but if somebody has it in them to fight, that's something that she was just naturally born with. I mean, when I've trained a lot of people, and I know certain people who are natural. She's a natural fighter. Actually, I have to calm her down.
All the time.
Yeah, because she's got a whole lot of that rah-rah, like, and there's a lot of the most dangerous people are the people who are just calm on the surface until you do the wrong thing, and then you're in trouble, because all of that's been kind of under the surface is aimed right at you. We're two of the same types, actually. I almost never lose my temper, but when I do, it could be pretty bad, and it's pretty focused. Same with my wife.
Same goes with me. On my family side, we call it the Waters temper. It's my maiden name. We kind of go from David Banner to Incredible Hulk in like 5 seconds. That's only when someone, rubs me the wrong way,
and so,
which is not that often.
Yeah,
other than that, I'm very sweet.
The great thing is, people who have that, it's about learning what to do with it, and it's kind of like I say, it's you're born with a fire, and the fire can cook the food or burn down the house. You just have to know how to control that fire. See, she and I, even though we have those mercurial tempers that's within us, we've never really argued for 22 years we've known each other. And
people don't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had 2 little tiny 15-minute arguments in the entire time we met each other. And, it's in the first one was just it's my fault, and I'm embarrassed to say it because
which one is that? I'm trying to think.
In Africa.
Oh,
it was in Nairobi. My back was hurt, and I was kind of limping along, and we were staying in these tents that are bigger than this room. Like, it was like a little house, but they're a tent. But somebody from, the Masai Mara has to walk you back.
You have to walk us back because it's pitch black out there, and there's literally like lions and all kind of crazy animals walking around. So they walk you to your tent.
Yeah, and this guy has a stick.
And a flashlight.
Yeah, that's all he has, is a stick and a flashlight. Right? So they had given me some gifts. And I'm kind of limping, like something was wrong with my back. And now, I'm walking back, and her and the guy are just kind of leaving me in the dust. And I'm like, my imagination starts to go crazy. Like, hey, like, what about me?
But,
let me
interject.
I don't want to be like ripped up by some kind of lion.
But what it was, honestly, was he had said, I think my back hurts. I didn't hear him. I honestly didn't hear him. And all I was thinking about was, I'm trying to stay with this guy with the flashlight and the stick and get my butt back to the tent because I'm not trying to get eaten by a lion. So I was in that mode, not realizing that my husband was back behind, hobbling. So, yeah, he wasn't too happy with me. He thought I just abandoned him and left him in the wilderness and dark.
I'm like, I was only like 7, 8 feet behind him, but it felt like a football field in Africa. And I just felt cold and lonely. But I mean, but so we had a little discussion. That was like
heated.
It was like, hey, but it turned into like, she's like, I didn't hear you. I'm like, oh, okay. And so that's how boring.
When it comes to arguments.
There's another question, hopefully.
So we have another question. They said. So would you say that you guys are competitive? And if you are, will you be doing a film where you're fighting one another?
Fighting one another.
Well, no, we're not competitive at all. I mean, not at all. Not even the least. I'm not.
No. I was competitive in high school sports, super competitive.
Well, I know they're talking about competitive against each other. We're competitive against the world, but we're the team.
Yeah, we work really well together as a team. We're never competitive. It's no egos when it comes to us.
Yeah, I think that's very important.
We have like zero ego. So we're never competitive against each other, but everybody else,
Yeah, you gotta stick with your teammate. And this is my teammate.
I have a question.
Yes.
What is this you're wearing? Shirt.
Oh, yes.
Love Strong.
This is Love Strong. This is us. Strength and love, strength and fitness. This is our brand. Hopefully you like our shirts and want to purchase one day.
Well, I mean, it's really all about the sentiment, isn't it?
Absolutely, I'm sure.
It's all about what we trying to represent. Yeah.
Which is lots of love and strength.
And reminding, what's coming up, You mentioned what's coming up.
Yeah, the next question is, do you have any events coming up?
Yeah.
We absolutely do.
Yeah, as we watch people fight behind
Yes.
us. But like, yeah. Well, we have a couple of events coming up.
Yeah, Friday we have at the BET Experience, which is a really big thing every year at the Staples Center and LA Convention Center. We'll be at the LA Convention Center at the Love, Healthy, and Wellness Pavilion at 7 p.m. We'll be on stage for an hour till 8.
And then the very next day, there's going to be this huge interactive 1-hour workout. It's going to be 1 million women in the biggest virtual workout ever. And my wife here will be leading a part of that event. And
with some other pretty awesome women.
Yeah, and she's going to show some self-defense and fitness kind of techniques. So you can
incorporate a little martial arts, little self-defense, and get your cardio at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
We actually have had a couple of questions where people are wondering if your T-shirts and brands are going to actually be at the event.
No, I don't
Not
think.
for sale.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna. We're still just working out the bugs and everything else, and we're gonna be doing a launch later. This is like a little early, thing before the big launch, but we have a number of things coming up, including we're gonna be doing videos. We're gonna do a book, and a lot of interactive stuff. This is the first of many times that we're gonna be interacting with our followers and fans and people who are interested in health, fitness, relationship, so yeah, a lot of things like that. So be looking forward to that. This is just really early because we agreed to do this thing with BET, and so we said, hey, let's just throw it out there.
Let you guys know about our brand.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, they'd like to know if you have any upcoming projects, films coming up.
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah. I have 5 movies in the can, and we've got some. You've got some things.
Yeah, I have a TV show that I have a role on that should be coming on a couple weeks called Strange Angel on CBS Access. And I did a national commercial for Mercury Auto Insurance.
So look out for that. That should be fun.
But it's a really fun
We
commercial.
got some action in it and everything.
Yeah. It's like a Men in Black kind of thing, so it's cool.
Yeah, and I got a few action movies. I got the Hard Way. This is the one thing that you have to kind of.
How you delete.
Yeah, I delete everything. Like I put things in the rearview mirror, and so it's hard for me to conjure it back up.
Focuses on the future.
Yeah, so I've got.
You have The Hard Way.
The Hard Way is
Triple
action.
Threat.
Triple Threat is another action movie with
Tony Jobs, Scott Adkins,
Yeah.
Tiger Chin.
Yeah, Michael Bisping. Yeah, so and Eco. Yeah. From The Raid, which is one of the greatest martial art action movies ever. So
and you gotta say The Hard Way is Randy Couture.
Yeah, Randy Couture, myself, and Luke Goss. Then I have
Making a Killing.
Making a Killing with Christopher Lloyd.
Lloyd.
It's kind of a dark comedy,
quirky, Fargo-ish kind of film.
Yeah, and then Dragged Across Concrete.
Dragged Across Concrete.
Yeah,
right.
with Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn. Yeah, and so
working.
Yeah, got some stuff coming out. Oh yeah, and then the other thing is, which might come out even earlier than that, is Head Shops.
Oh, Head Shops! I forgot about that.
Head Shop.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in that.
Yeah, that's a whole bunch of folks.
Yeah,
that's
a fun
movie. Yeah, it's a kind of a romantic comedy. Nicole Ari Parker.
Loretta Devine.
Yeah, Kim is in it. Kimberly Elise.
Because
you call each other your first name basis. Sometimes you forget.
Evan Ross.
And
comedian.
Man, this is bad.
It's so bad when you get put on the spot and you're like, trying to remember all the names.
Dion Cole.
Dion Cole,
yes. Sorry about that.
Sorry, Dion.
Yeah.
We love you.
So we have a question from Mike Fontaine. He was curious about his 4-year-old son who's taking Tang Soo Do and Hapkido classes. What other style of martial arts would you suggest he study?
Well, I am.
4 years old.
He's
He's
4.
4 years old?
Yes.
He's taking that many and he's 4 years old?
And he's taking Tang Soo Do and Hapkido classes. Yes.
Wow.
And he's 4.
Yes.
What I suggest?
He's already.
Oh my God! Get some sleep. Okay. Look, when he gets a little older, I'm a big stickler on traditional. Traditional. I mean, it started in Okinawa, then went to Japan. As far as modern karate, a lot of things get mixed up later on. I mean, all due respect, but I feel like I can say these things because I have black belts in those other arts as well. I still do understand where the basics came from. So I have respect to the Okinawan traditional karate. If you want to know where everything is from, deeper than that is White Crane Kung Fu, but it was not meant to be a fighting system at that time. There's all kinds of reasons to get into martial arts, and it differs between each person. Some want to learn how to, defend themselves. Some want to learn how to fight, and if you want to learn how to fight as a sport, then I wouldn't say do traditional, martial arts. I'd say go straight into MMA. So it all depends. I give different advice depending on what somebody's looking for.
Well, he says the goal is, because he shot in another question very quickly, he was speaking of when he gets older. He understands that what he has now,
right?
But he was just curious as he matures which direction.
Well, if it's this, for his maturity, for his development, I definitely say an Okinawan based martial arts, because there's the principles of honor, spirit, the true martial arts principles. If you are lucky enough to train in that, it's something that can guide you for the rest of your life in the right direction. It's not just something on sport, and you're not learning how to just just like glorify violence or anything else. There are aspects. There's several aspects to traditional martial art that really contribute to making a whole, very balanced person. So definitely that.
So we have a question from Armin Washington. He says that I have sickle cell anemia and I need a few pointers for my physical. I think you can help me go a long way, please.
I don't know enough about sickle cell anemia. And I would hate to say the wrong thing. I would just say, you got to kind of, I guess, resort to your doctor. I'm just not equipped to be able to provide any advice that might be detrimental. Yeah. So, I wish you the best, but definitely don't get the advice of a martial arts guy.
John Hill III says, since you do traditional and you train with your wife, does she do traditional styles with you?
Absolutely. I'm teaching her kind of a hybrid of several styles. Kyokushin, which is one of my base style, and also just effective martial arts for fighting, and stuff to like kind of get her aggression out. As we explained earlier, that there's some issues going on in there, so I want to keep her nice and balanced.
You're such a horrible person.
No, I'm not. I'm saying we were just alike, right? No, she's really nice. But there's things that contribute to keeping her nice. See what I mean? Right? It's like
kicking and punching.
Yeah. That just you kick and punch the bag, so she don't kick and punch nothing else.
So we have another question. It's actually two separate questions. One from Xavier D. He's curious to know, will we ever see Black Dynamite again? And Jonathan Crawford is wondering if we're going to see Outlaw Johnny Black soon.
Well, you're not going to see it soon. We're gonna start shooting it soon. So we'll we'll hopefully, well, not hopefully, we're the people that have already signed in and who are part of our mailing list and our email list. Everybody's going to be very privy to a lot of inside information, updates and cast updates, and a lot of pictures and video from the movie as we're shooting. It's going to be one of the first times that a movie is going to be this interactive with a fan base ever. Because I'm producing it and doing it myself, that's that's what the campaign was about. So we're able to do this experiment with the audience and have specific things that the people that follow us can have that nobody else will. So that's really the design behind the campaign.
And will we see Black Dynamite again?
Well, I don't know. It's one of those things where there's a number of decisions that have to be made around that. There's partnerships and all that kind of stuff. And right now, the focus is to do this one, which is what our intention was. Our intention was to do the Black Dynamite one, then to do the Western, and then the third was to do the horror, the kind of the takeoff of Blackula type thing.
Yeah. We have another question from Biana Ishan. She's curious to know if your daughters are involved in martial arts also.
Yeah. We have a daughter. Our daughter is going to be testing for a black belt next year. Yeah, she's been doing really well. She's
She started when she was 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Next question is curious to know if you will ever open a dojo yourself or an academy.
No.
That was quick.
No, you know what? I should never say never. If I were to open a dojo, it would probably be after I've retired from doing films.
Everything else.
Because the commitment to it, I'd be very serious about. I didn't learn this as a business, and I wouldn't teach it as a business. It's not what I follow. This is something that's deeper. This is something that a lot of times when instructors have to feed their family based on students, well, they have to water things down, and then the result is the students are not getting the experience. It's kind of like if you think about the Navy SEALs, and if the Navy SEALs were a business and they had to graduate people, well, guess what? They'd have to make concessions to fit everybody. Fact is, it should be very hard. It should be damn near the hardest thing you can do is to get a black belt, so you respect it. One thing that I have to do, I respect I respect jiu-jitsu right now. Jiu-jitsu right now is where karate was 20 years ago, where people are not, it's not so much of a business that people are just being given black belts. Jiu-jitsu is absolutely in the right, it's really in the right kind of hierarchy and structure that it should be for someone to achieve a black belt. Unfortunately, the business of karate has watered down traditional karate a great deal.
Next question from Damian Lee. He would like to know, what is the one thing you love about each other?
The one thing?
That's hard. It's a whole bunch of things.
I'm not doing anything. That could have been taken differently.
Oh, you're stupid.
The one thing that we love about each other.
I'll let you go first.
Yeah.
So
well, you see how I was trying to stall. Dude, like, really?
Just narrow it down.
I can't. The one thing?
One thing. Or pick one thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be the best thing.
Okay.
One thing.
Yeah, the intelligence. She's one of the smartest people I know. And you can't tell right now, but I'm I was, she's not saying she's gonna hit me. No. She's simply one of the smartest people I know, and I think with that wisdom and intelligence comes everything else. Because then there's an amazing sense of humor that comes with that intelligence. Because you have to be able to understand irony and wit and all these different things on several levels and give it back. So I think with that intelligence and that, that mind, where somebody has got you no matter what, and if you're not operating on 100% capacity, you got somebody who makes up the difference. That if you're weakened, that this person is strong enough to get you through. So I guess I gotta say wisdom would be the thing that if I have to say one thing, that it would have to be that. Now beat that.
Damn.
Yeah.
You just made it real hard.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is actually how well-rounded he is. See, in the well-roundedness, that's a word. No, I know it's not a word. I'm joking.
Kinda,
but anyways, he's so well-rounded. There's so many facets to him that people don't know, and that's what I love about him. It's like people see him as this really just tough, strong guy that kicks people's butts in movies, but people don't know he is super, super funny. I mean, he always has me laughing. He is super smart. Can't beat him at Trivial Pursuit. He can answer any question. He writes. He's so creative and imaginative, and then he's just like he's not. I think I just talked about this in a magazine article. He's not a follower. He's such a leader, and it's like I look up to that because he doesn't follow any crowd. Doesn't follow what anyone does. He just does his own thing and creates his own path, and like you can't help but look up to someone like that, and I just adore that about it. And honestly, what I love about him the most is how much he loves me, because he loves unconditionally, and it's just such a beautiful thing. So
I know Cherie's out there laughing her ass off because she knows me and knows how uncomfortable I
Cherie,
am.
if you're watching,
with compliments,
this is
the
Black Bride.
Yeah, okay. yeah, well, that's
another thing. He hates compliments. So if anybody ever compliments him, he gets this weird, this look. He gets that look.
Okay,
that's
next question. Next question, please.
I'm aware of
it.
Yeah. Next question. We have a fun question. Who does the splits better?
Oh,
you or your wife?
Are y'all getting a little like no?
No, this is a serious.
In the bedroom.
They're quite curious in terms of martial arts.
Okay.
Actually, is what they wrote.
I probably you.
Yeah,
because he's been doing it longer. I used to be very, very flexible because I was a gymnast, but he has done this for so long.
Yeah.
Like I kind of lost it a little bit.
It was weird. If anybody saw Never Back Down 3, I was directing the movie, right? And I was like, I should probably, put in a place where I'd be stretching.
I remember.
Then realized that I had not stretched for almost a year.
He doesn't stretch. It's amazing.
But then I did the splits and the strap.
Yeah,
but I guess it's just answer. I've been doing it for a long time, so it starts to come natural.
Yeah, like me, I got it.
Yeah.
Stretch it out.
Next question. Jill would like to know if you're going to be starting any martial art or exercise programs in the future.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that I've been putting together. I've actually shot a huge martial arts interactive kind of thing that we'll be launching later. I mean, it's martial arts, self-defense, and fitness, and so we're working on expanding that, and you're going to see that hopefully sometime later, the end of this year or before that. I'm not sure when the launch for that is, but we're in the process. Yeah, it's in the process. Yeah.
There's been a couple people who are curious about the 1-inch punch, and can you do the 1-inch punch?
Absolutely, I can do the 1-inch punch. What it is those who know, it's about hip power, and even though the fist is only 1 inch away, it's about the turning of that hip, that whipping of the hip, and that's really what it's about. So yeah, I mean, I could do it, and so can you. I might do it a little bit better. I don't know. I've been doing it for a long time, so that's it. But it's funny because like sometimes these things that have that kind of mythic kind of connection to it, because you say the 1 inch punch, it sounds a lot deeper. You know what I mean? But
Didn't you demonstrate that one time on film? I thought that there was a film where you were practicing with. He used to be a back garage fighter, and there was some footage of you trying to.
Oh, you're talking about Kimbo Slice?
Yeah.
No, that's not.
Yeah, that wasn't that one. Yeah.
I sometimes would do a break where I would, my fist would be just about an inch away from the boards, and I would just strike. That's kind of like a 1 inch punch, but a variation of it. But no, I haven't demonstrated it on camera. That unless I've forgotten.
Yeah, I've never seen
But I have done a lot of different variations of that. It's kind of funny. I know I'm running, but as time has gone on, you realize a lot of boxers are doing exactly that when they punch from close distance,
range,
and they snap from their hips, and they don't require a lot of space. So they may be throwing inside punches that are 3 inches away, but now as time's gone, since Bruce Lee did that way back in the day, you can see the concept of some of the more advanced boxers.
Next question: they'd like to know if you and your wife will be doing any action movies in the future, or movies.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that is definitely in the plans.
Always ask that question.
Yeah. There's something in the works. Well, a lot of times where in this business you can have things in the works for years, and they could be promising that we're going to go to film in October, but you don't believe it, and sometimes I don't believe things until I'm on the set, and even then I don't. So there's a lot of craziness with this business now.
Have you ever sparred with somebody that does martial arts like you? I'm
wondering if they meant that too.
Maybe the same style. Or something.
Meaning the same style, or?
Yeah. If you mean, that's hundreds and hundreds of people. I've sparred a lot of people with the same style and other styles, and I continue to do that.
Question. There's a question in terms of the Million Woman virtual workout and how they can be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you can go to www.lovehealthy.com, and that will give you the information you need. I think the day that it happens, I think everyone goes to that site and you can somehow log on. I believe the information's on the site, but it's lovehealthy.com, and that'll give you all the information on the Million Women workout. If you can't make it to the Los Angeles Convention Center on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
The question is for you, Gil. They'd like to know which of your husband's movies is your favorite.
Oh my gosh. I'd have to say Black Dynamite, because for a few reasons. Because it's funny as hell. And there's nothing like it. I love movies that are original, and that movie, you can't get more original than that. And it's his baby. He wrote it and he created the character and he started it, so it has a deeper meaning, I think, to him. So kind of resonates within me. But it's just a funny movie. But I love that movie, and it just showcases how funny he is.
Get that look again.
That's that. See, I can't compliment. Don't ask any more questions. I gotta compliment him because he's just not kidding.
Next question. They'd like to know if you'd be planning any future seminars for martial arts or anything back east.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, a lot of the seminars is we try to figure out when I have some time to do it. I just recently did. We went to Australia and we did a bunch of seminars out there, and it was just great. I love Australians. But yeah, I would love to get back to the East Coast. I believe August is a opportunity. I'm talking to some groups out there, and those may know that myself and one of my instructors, Bill Superfoot Wallace, and Grant Campbell, we do a tour usually in January where we do seminars and we start in Connecticut, going to New York, New Jersey, and finally in Atlantic City. Mm-hmm. And so we kind of do a tour then. I think that's the third week in January. And so those will be coming up.
There's another question for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
What are your favorite types of exercises for aesthetics, both of you?
I love boxing. It's a great cardio. Like my husband said, it lets out my aggression. And I think, and I'm learning from my husband, just the technique of it. Before I just thought you just hit. And then he's taught me that there's such a technique, and the way you turn your hip is where the power is, and using your body and not your arms, and all these things that I didn't know that I'm now learning and incorporating, and I feel the difference when I'm doing it. And it's a hell of a cardio. And at the same time, it really strengthens my body and kind of leans me up.
Yeah, my particular exercise, my favorite is I'm a big proponent of pull-ups. And because it straightens out your vertebrae. Many times as you walk and you live life, you're jamming your back all the time, and you seldom have a time to where you elongate your spine. And as you get older, a lot of problems creep up because all that compaction and compression, it gets on you. It actually literally gets on your nerves because because your spine and all of your vertebrae go out of whack and pinch nerves and all that type of stuff. So elongating the spine, doing pull-ups, I'm a big proponent in that. I think it balances your body out better as well.
Mike, out of all of your martial arts instructors or people you looked up to when you started martial arts, who would you say were the ones that inspired you the most?
Wow. Okay, in order, it would be Bruce Lee. Wasn't one of my instructors, of course. I'm not old enough, but he put it on the map, and he did so in such a grand and an amazing way that it just captures your imagination. So that's the person I thought that kind of led me in that direction, and then my instructor Shigeru Oyama was second. Third, another instructor and one of my heroes is Bill Wallace. Bill Wallace is his technique and his style and his speed was something that I wanted to emulate, and I wanted to learn how to kick like him. Recently, we were with Bill last week, and he bestowed on me a uniform. The Stars and Stripes uniform that he wore, but he gave me a brand new one, and it's something that's like from my childhood that I looked up to. But I digress. And then the last is Joe Louis, the late Joe Louis, spelled Lewis, not Joe Louis the boxer, but Joe Louis was one of the most powerful and explosive karate fighters. Joe Louis and Bill Wallace are arguably two of the most dynamic, undefeated martial arts fighters in the world. And last on that list was Benio Quidez. These I luckily got taught by three of the most there's no argument to them being three of the greatest fighters who ever lived. and all three of them were my instructors. So I'm one of the luckiest martial artists in the world. There it is.
Oh, I have an email question.
Email question.
So,
Email question. Okay.
you both went to Australia together for the tour.
Yes.
Yes, we
How
did.
was the trip together? Like the whole thing. Like, what'd you do? Where'd you go?
No, the trip was.
Yeah, we spent 2 weeks in Australia. We started out in Melbourne.
Melbourne. Yeah,
Then we went to Sydney, and then Gold Coast and Brisbane. But Mike was there doing martial arts tournaments and meet and greets, and a lot of stuff with the fans. But in the in between time, we did a awesome yacht.
we were on
yacht
yachts. We
through Sydney Harbor.
We fought with kangaroos.
Fought with kangaroos.
No, well, we hung out with kangaroos.
We hung out with kangaroos. We held a baby koala. Mike got his hand got
Doo-dooed
pooped on.
By a
I was trying to say it
koala.
nicely.
Yeah.
They just pooped right in his hand, and he's taking a picture, smiling like, "This is pooping in my hand." That was hilarious.
Yeah.
But and it was just great. Everyone
swam
there was
with
great.
dolphins.
We swam with
Yeah,
dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like the kind of where you get to do it in the Bahamas and you with a group of people. Like we got to do it privately, behind the scenes with a trainer, where the dolphins are. It was so cool. So yeah, we did some fun stuff out there. Australia's awesome, and so are the people.
So speaking of which, going into our next question, Pat Hyland would like to know if you'd be coming
Hi, Pat.
back to Sydney, Australia soon.
I would love to. Give me an excuse
Pat
to
wants
come
us
back.
to come back.
Yeah,
Hi, Pat.
y'all in Australia, give me an excuse to come back.
Yes,
I love that place.
I want to go to Perth
Yes.
because I want to see the what are they called?
The
Quokkas? No, not quokkas.
Yeah, quokkas.
The quokkas, the little animals that are only on
they
Perth
smile.
that smile and take selfies with you. Like I have to take a picture of one. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna hang it in the house.
Yeah, and I think there are wombats out there as well.
Yeah, Mike likes wombats.
Yeah, I like wombats.
Yeah, he
They're
thinks
cute.
they're cute.
Yeah.
Damian Lee would like to know what is the scariest / hardest stunt you ever did?
The hardest stunt I did was in the exit wounds, where I knocked down Steven Seagal and then run off and catch a helicopter on a rope ladder.
Oh, yeah.
And so the stunt man was supposed to do that, right? But I kind of did it better than the stunt man, so I found myself climbing up the rope, and they attached me to it, and they cut to I'm hanging from a helicopter that's taking me, like
Yeah, that's pretty
across the whole
scary.
city, you know what I mean? And coming back. So that's probably it. That's actually me doing that stunt.
Wow.
Somebody would like to know if Gillian will be doing any martial arts movies on her own.
I want to see that.
I would love to if someone is open to putting me in one. I'm your girl.
Yeah, her husband's gonna be watching
Trained by
out
the
though,
best.
and keeping everything safe. Huh?
I would love to be in a
trained by
martial
the
arts
best.
film. Huh?
Yeah.
I said she's trained by the best. So
Yeah, I'm trained by the best.
And that kind of curtails into what Jim Wright said, which is any plans in writing your own martial arts movies, maybe for your wife.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where,
Hint.
yeah. Well, but of course, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where you just don't write a movie for your wife. It's got to be a good movie that your wife could be in. So it's really, because then people see through that. And one of the things is, there's a responsibility of somebody who is, and you're producing and you're trying to, you have a responsibility to sell a movie. It can't just be from one perspective. It's got to be for everybody. So, there's ways that you can do things, and you have people that you enjoy working with to be in it, but, it's got to be a whole village type of a thing.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it does.
Desmond Bastian asks, would you, Mike, and Gillian be willing to do any USO tours for the military in Okinawa, Japan?
Yeah.
If
that-
someone asked us to do that, we absolutely
Yeah,
would.
it's just one of those things where if anybody asks us to do these things, it's better to set it up earlier than later. So then, if I have a movie or if I have anything like that, it'll already go into the contract that this date is blocked off. Sometimes folks come at the last minute, and then it's unfortunately it can't be scheduled because
just too crazy.
because I get busy, way down the line.
They can always email PR@Gigantic Studios.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can
Yes.
PR at Gigantic Studios, JAI Gigantic Studios, and that's another way you can handle that stuff.
That was another question. Someone wanted to know how they could keep up with the current projects that both you and your wife are doing.
Well, yeah, that's my studios is Gigantic Studios, and you can go PR at Gigantic Studios or just
the website.
giganticstudios.com.
Constantly getting updated daily.
Yeah, daily updates
Constant
there.
daily updates.
Yeah.
And
This is part of it, by the way.
yeah.
So
Gigantic.
this is one of the rooms in it.
And also, I live on social media. I mean, I also take care of my family. But at the same time, I'm constantly posting, keeping you guys up to date with things that, we got going on. So you can always follow at official Michael Jai on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm at SoGilmatic. And then our names on Facebook.
Mike, what originally made you get started in martial arts?
What originally made me get started in martial arts was insecurity. Insecurity, like a lot of people.
I was going to say, that's why I think most people.
Yeah. I was an insecure kid, growing up in Brooklyn. Those insecure like me, who are, feeling, kind of, I don't know, susceptible and insecure. What you tend to do is you build armor, and martial arts was part of my armor. And luckily, I picked something that made you kind of build yourself from the inside out. So, I say it's very fortunate because it taught me to put my energy into something that was so beneficial and so I don't know, self-serving in a way more than any other kind of sport, like team sport, because all your accomplishments are from within. So that's a great teacher.
So next question, how long have you been doing martial arts? And is martial arts what helped you get into acting?
I think I've been doing martial arts for 40 years or something, 40-something years. Like, it's the martial arts ethic has permeated every part of my life. So it's helped me with acting because it's helped me with anything to deal with concentration or discipline or focus. So that's the answer. And then one of the reasons why I said early on why traditional martial arts is so beneficial, because it's about the problem solving that occurs from within. It's a great building block for success later in life.
So several people have asked what it would take to be able to train with you, but next best thing, is there a possibility for a style that you could recommend that they could start?
Well, with styles and martial arts things, I always ask the individual what they're looking for. There's some people want discipline. Some people want to know. Some is self-expression. Like I've done wushu kung fu. Someone is looking for. So that's all very selective. Like it's very
depends on the person.
Yeah, depends on the person.
Mike, could you give us some insight into, when you're preparing a film, what your diet looks like for the week? You had briefly touched on it before, but someone's asking for more specifics.
Okay, I'll go general. Sometimes when I'm leaning out, what I do is from Monday through Friday, I eat low carbs. That means my carbs will be under 100 grams per day, and by the end of the week, they're down to damn near none. And then I'll eat some carbs, or she'll make me some, on Saturday and Sunday, and then I go back until I get into the condition I want to be in. Then I kind of taper off from there. That can get very tricky and very intricate, and I wouldn't have enough time to really break it all down. But in a general way, I do that. Most of what I'm eating is proteins and fats from Monday through Friday. Proteins are food that had parents. So think about
I'll
it
cook
that
him
way.
a lot of like lean chicken, baked chicken. We do a lot of fish, baked salmon, cod. So
Yeah.
I'll cook things like that, and then like asparagus, broccoli.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sauteed spinach.
So would you say, Gil, that you support him and you diet also when he
I
diets?
actually do, don't I? I do it with you.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, I'm feeling kind of tired right now because I'm doing a low carb.
Yeah.
But no, I totally support him because it's actually funny because I already have to cook 2 separate meals because the kids don't eat like that. So I'm cooking a meal for the kids and I'm cooking a meal for us. So, I tend to eat more towards the way he eats than the way the kids eat. So, yeah.
How many hours a week would you say you typically work out to lean for your movies?
It is typically hours of cardio. Maybe it'd be 3 hours of cardio. No, it's more than that.
3, what, a day?
Yeah, I mean for a week. I say
Oh,
maybe.
a week? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe 5 hours of cardio
Yeah.
a whole, throughout a week, depending on what shape I'm in the first place.
How busy your schedule
Yeah.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any siblings that are into martial arts or practice martial arts? Both of you.
I don't. I have 3 brothers, and none are into martial arts, but they all know how to fight.
Yeah, I mean, I had a sister that was doing martial arts for a while, and she was a correctional officer at Rikers Island, and she was well known because I met a lot of cats from Rikers Island that's encountered my sister and would report back to me that she is no joke. She got a reputation. So my sister Rita,
I was gonna say, Rita, if you're listening,
she's not one to mess with,
Yeah.
and now she's bodyguarding federal judges.
Wow.
So it's like, it sounds like a movie, don't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's my oldest sibling, and she's kind of
She
no
is in
joke.
martial arts.
Yeah.
Mike, would you do any more superhero movies in the future?
I'm not against doing another superhero movie. It depends on what it is, of course. And it's always fun. It seems to be the predominant type of movie going on these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, I'm really trying to focus on getting some of my own stuff done. But if that comes up, I wouldn't run away from it.
And for our last question tonight, someone would like to know, maybe for both of you, because you've both acted, do you prefer to play the hero or the villain?
Well, for me, I like playing villains because and I'm gonna say this again. I'm really, really nice. Like I'm like super, super nice. So to play something completely opposite of me, it's something I get to sink my teeth into, and it's fun for me to actually go into a character that's evil or bad or mean. It's fun. So I prefer villain.
I prefer hero, I think, because maybe because I'm lazy.
Lazy.
Because you're really actually.
Yeah, because I mean,
Because you're really a hero.
no, well,
It's easy to play a hero.
It's a real. It's kind of like It's weird. Like I was almost a cop several times. I mean, I was 2 days away from the academy when I got my first off-Broadway role. And since then, I've made several attempts to join the reserve police because deep within me there is this natural tendency to fight crime. Or I grew up beating up bullies. I hate bullies. I hate bullies in such a way that, like, in people who are bullied physically, mentally, anyway, I despise it with every ounce of my being. And so I say, maybe it's because I'm lazy, because I like to be able to play something that I could be truthful in. And it takes no work for me to play a hero that really believes in what he's doing. Because as I live, I feel like at any moment's notice, I can fight. I would fight and risk my life for an innocent person.
That's true.
And that's totally, that can happen in the next hour. So, sometimes you want to play yourself. I played all these roles where I was nothing like me. So yeah, I like the hero. Not saying I am a hero, but I do have a lot of attributes that I think one might want to find in somebody who would live for the sake of
Sorry.
Yeah, I saw something.
Spider was hanging off his hat.
Yeah.
You see, I'm not afraid.
Yeah, but she's a hero too. See that? She
I
saved me.
just rescued my husband from the spider in his face.
But yeah, I mean, so that that kind of thing is what I like to do. And I'm playing some heroes. I got some heroic roles coming up, and some bad guys. But I like the hero stuff better.
So he could be the hero, I could be the villain.
So Mike and Gil, we'd like to thank you very much for your time this evening. Lastly, please remind us where we'll be able to see you this weekend and the next couple of days.
Okay, so we will be Friday at the Los Angeles Convention Center. We'll be there from 7 to 8. We have a seminar called Fit Together. We'll be talking about our health, our fitness, our relationship, our love, parenting, all that good stuff. And we're going to do a little demonstration of how we work out together. That'll be in the Love, Healthy, and Wellness Pavilion at the Los Angeles Convention Center.
Yeah.
And then Saturday will be the 1 million virtual workout, which will be Saturday the 23rd from 1 to 2 o'clock. I'll be one of the instructors, along with a lot of other awesome actresses and doctors and all kinds of people. Tiffany Haddish will be there. So if you like her, come along and join us. It will be fun.
Yeah.
Thank you both again.
Bye.